I would take a towel and sit out here and watch the sunrise. But it's far too wintry and cold and windy for that, so just here to gaze upon the view, which is nice. Went and picked up a latte. Sea foam caught my eye, but I am a fool because I'm pretty sure there's like mint in this. Gross. I mean, good for y'all that like mint, but ick. Okay, it's growing on me. I think it's just really good coffee. Like, is this what people talk about when they say like good coffee versus bad coffee? Oh my god. That's what they mean by a sneaker wave. Good morning vlog. Do I look cute? Yes I do. As cute as can scoot. Good morning vlog and welcome to Pacific City. Today is day 2 of my Oregon little road trip out to the coast. I wanted to catch sunrise this morning, but I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be very colorful since it is winter and super cloudy. Thankfully it wasn't very wet. I was concerned it was going to be a lot of rain, but it just was lots of blues and grays, and it's still quite pretty. There's a cute coffee shop by Haystack Rock and Cape Kiwanda. So I got a seafoam latte, just in case you couldn't hear me when I was talking about it earlier. I should not be surprised, like it makes sense, but it has mint in it, or I believe it did. I think the foam might have had mint, because the more I've drank and the less the foam is gone, the less minty it is. But it's definitely good coffee. I think I can appreciate the flavor of the coffee itself now that I'm actually in the latte, not at the foam. I love a salted foam, so I just wish it was more salty, less minty. Another idea this morning that I was thinking about doing was walking to Cape Kiwanda. It's these like sand dunes, kind of getting on top of that little mountain perch, the cape itself. I was here a couple of years ago and a lot of it is fenced off for safety reasons. I believe it used to be open and you could just walk around the whole thing, but I believe people were falling and dying. The Oregon coast is super rocky, windy, wet, so there's a lot of like, you know, beware of cliff signs and danger. I was thinking about doing it, and then I'm pretty sure we're at high tide right now, and those waves just came up and out. One, I don't want to be wet, and two, I was concerned about sneaker waves. Sneaker waves are these really powerful waves that don't look very scary or intense, and they just kind of come out of nowhere and suck people out to sea. So I'm always concerned about that. And then with those kind of quick, powerful waves like that, you can also get tripped or sucked in with like driftwood and logs, and so it's just something I was trying to think of, and I didn't want to get wet or risk my life just to go up a lame sand dune because you can't go to the cool parts anymore. Pacific City is a huge surfer town because of the incredible winds that come into this little beach bay area, so it's great for surfing on the waves. It's a pretty small little town area. There's kind of like this cute rich area, and then there's like the little town area like where my hotel is. Since it's winter and too cold for surfing, it is quite dead. There is Pelican Brewery, which I believe I want to come back here for dinner. But the rest of today, I'm going to be heading to Lincoln City. There are 2 hikes that I want to go to. Firstly, I want to check out Drift Creek. It's another waterfall hike, and I read somewhere that if you go from Lincoln City, it's all paved. So I'm really hoping, technically it adds about 10 minutes to my drive, but I would much rather drive on a paved road in my little tiny mini Prius than kind of go out somewhere and halfway decide that the road conditions aren't really good for my Prius, like I had to do yesterday at Aquila Falls, which is just kind of such a bummer and a time kill. I want to do that. I'm gonna head back to the hotel and grab another pair of pants. I need to be layering off this trip because especially on the coast, it's gonna be super cold and windy, and that's where hike number 2 is. So let's go ahead and head the 15 miles down to Lincoln City. I hope that once I start hiking, my body will warm up a little bit. It's quite cold up here. Whew. Thankfully not as windy as by the coast, but still. The wind is loud. The hike is 1.5 miles each way. So I'm happy to report that, yes, it was all paved up here. I'm in a paved parking lot all by my lonesome. Too scared. I feel better about making this decision, but I feel immensely lame right now. I think it's just too far out in the middle of nowhere, too deep in the woods. Like, I tell you, there's literally nobody out here. This whole parking lot is bare, is empty. And the only other car thing that I saw once getting into this mountain was kind of like a old rundown camper RV that somebody may or may not be living in. It's really loud out there. There is some sort of weird humming. I don't know if there is some logging happening out here, but it doesn't sound like a chainsaw. It really sounds like a... It's definitely man-made or something else. But it's not like a regular animal. So I don't know what that is. So that was a little unsettling. Anytime there was any little movement or whatnot, because that's the thing, now that there's only me, any sound that I don't think is me is something else that I don't know of. There's kind of like a sweet spot with hiking where I don't like to go to trails unless they're like really out in the open and, you know, close to town and, you know, not out in the middle of nowhere. But I don't like to go on hikes where there are nobody, and of course not when they're like fully packed. There's kind of like this sweet spot. So this is a bummer. The trail was looking very beautiful. I was gonna say like inviting, like I could see myself having a really nice hike with some friends here. I just wish I wasn't alone out here. But I have to follow my gut because that's my intuition. But also I won't have a fun time if I'm like this petrified and on edge, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't feel like the forest was trying to tell me to leave, but I also didn't feel like I should be there. So I have my knife, I have my bear spray. I don't have my emergency satellite phone on me, but oh, this is a bummer. I don't know how I would have fixed it to feel less spooked, but oh well. This was super easy to get to if you're on the coast and have friends and maybe go like on a Saturday. So that means I definitely have to go do this coastline hike that I've been wanting to do called God's Thumb. So let's head back to Lincoln City and hike up the side of this seaside cliff. So that should be gorgeous and hopefully more populated and less spooky deep in the mountain, deep in the forest. Yeah. Another day, another losing an hour trying to hike out to a waterfall unsuccessfully. Now that it's later in the day, It's raining. I'm at this trailhead. I am very much in a neighborhood, and I already see 4 or 5 cars out here, so I feel a lot better, and it's by the ocean, so I don't feel so deep in the thicket. I'm at the Knoll in North Lincoln City, wanting to hike up to God's Thumb, which is a viewpoint of the ocean and the city. I think the view should still be quite pretty when it's up there, since it is on the coast. It's not going to be blocked off by like thick clouds, so you'll still be able to see rainy, misty oceanside, you know, beaches and town, but I just know it's gonna be miserable. I'm definitely gonna put on my second layer of pants. I'm going to put everything in my backpack in hopes of keeping it not wet. And I'm hoping a little section of it is kind of covered by trees. I know some of it opens up to this like beautiful meadow, but we'll see, we'll see. Are you serious? Can I go, please? I heard some hissing. I just want to go down the hill. Thank you. I've been quite turned around on this hike. I keep thinking the ocean is on one other side. I don't know, it's so weird. My direction's a little off, but I think I'm getting close to the top of some sort of hill mountain that will break off into going more towards the Thumb, and like the rest of the trail, we're going to the Knoll. I think I'm just gonna go to the Knoll. I'm really curious to see what the view looks like. The higher I get up this mountain, the more rain there is. So we'll see what the view's like. I can finally kind of see the ocean. Yay. This is so gorgeous. The view, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. But I think I might be on private property. We'll have to talk a little bit more about this in the car. I know the trail goes this way. I don't know if this is also part of the trail. I think this is still public. Oh my God, it is so beautiful. I'm coming down the hill and the sun's coming out. Oh. I have not texted my husband today. Hey, I am alive. Very wet, but still very alive. glad that I did that hike. It is, I was a little confused as to like where I was going. The Knoll, this area, there's this big loop, and I think I kind of went like the long way on the loop, and that's where I got a little bit turned around. I didn't understand why I was turning. You really go up this huge mountain, and it was very, very muddy, and as you can see, I am soaked. Once we got up to the top, I believe I saw God's thumb, the rock projection that is God's thumb, I believe. A part of me would have liked to have continued. Now that I'm at the bottom, I'm like, oh, I should have kept going, but at the top I was so wet, so tired, so confused. And I think it'll just be a better hike for a sunnier day. So when I come back out to do Drift Creek with some friends, we'll then head over here. There's a lot of private property around here. If you look at a map, there's just cul-de-sacs and neighborhood and, you know, residential homes everywhere. So make sure you read on where to park. There's a lot of places where they will tow you. I parked in the cul-de-sac because that's what I read up on, but I did see some park here signs for some other trailheads for this big kind of loop. You definitely could park closer than I did if you just wanted specifically to do the Knoll. So check out a map, check out some local guides to say like where to park, and don't park on anybody's private property. When I was at the top and I was like, oh, I don't know if this was private property, it was the Knoll, but there is a trail. I believe if you would have kept going down, you could have taken the Knoll kind of down straight to the beach or to some of those beach houses. And that I saw on a map or two is specifically private property. So just make sure that you are being respectful of who owns where you're stepping, I guess. With the sun peeking out, I don't think it would have been that much of an improvement of the view. But with the sun peeking out, I'm hoping that maybe we might get something really nice for sunset. I plan to go back to Cape Kiwanda, have some dinner at Pelican Brewery, and yeah, maybe see some good sunset, maybe actually go out to the dunes if the tide is low, we'll see. But right now I'm just so wet. For me, and I don't know how soft it is. I found something gross. Oh my god, I did smell something putrid. Oh. It's a decaying seal. All its ribs are out. Gross. I won't show it to you. I don't know if you all want to see that. Oh my god, it's so... I'm pretty sure it's a seal. Yeah. Oh, it's so gross. I love it. Whoa. up we go. Oh God. Okay. So I wanted to get here, and I got to about there. Still very impressive. Time to get back off this dune before it gets too dark. The sun is fully behind all those clouds and mountains. Oh, that is sand! Oh my God! Wow. All for the shot. Oh, gross. No wonder I feel horrific. Everything I love is now also covered in sand. That was a eventful hour and a half chasing sunset. I am tickled by the beautiful colors and clouds that we got. I definitely didn't think we were gonna get something like that. I think I'm gonna have to go home and shower. I was hoping I'd be able to wipe off the sand, but it's just moving it around. I'm getting a little exfoliation. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I wanna feel clean and pretty to re-enter a less nature-based society.